Alright, welcome back to Between the Goalposts. We're here with our picks and analysis segment for this week, and let's talk about last week's game. The first one, Jets over San Diego. What do you got to say about that one?
The Jets finally decided to use Plaxico. 3 touchdowns in the red zone, abusing Antoine Casem, and Sanchez brought him back in the game.
It was a good game by them, and Philip Rivers is starting to really melt down in the fourth quarter of games. It's getting a little ridiculous.
Not even just the fourth quarter, just in general. 9 picks this year. He's never had more than 15 in a season. Finally has all of his weapons back. It's starting to look a little interesting.
Maybe he's getting a little complacent. That's my thought. And I don't like him.
This just in.
And then the next game we have KC over Oakland.
Yeah, I don't think we saw that coming, but we probably should have because, Carson Palmer off the Barca-lounger, as you so eloquently put it.
Kyle Bowler.
Yeah, kind of.
Should never have been.
Yeah.
So, the picks didn't really surprise me.
It makes it really easy to score when they just lay them up right to you and you can take it to the house. Yeah. They made Brandon Flowers look decent, though, and that's hard to do. So then... ATL over Detroit, in Detroit's own house, second loss in a row at home. Should we be worried about Detroit?
I don't think you should be too worried just yet. If they lose this week to Denver, then you might want to start panicking a little bit.
Start flipping a few alarms.
It depends on Matt Stafford, how well he plays now that he's hobbled. If they lose, that's the only reason they may lose.
Yeah, it seems like the formula that the Niners and then the Falcons have sort of conceived is that you bracket Megatron, you make Stafford make quick throws, you blitz him, make him use Titus Young and Brandon Pettigrew and Burleson on, don't let him go down the field on you and condense the offense, and he's kind of struggling with it so far.
Yep. And then the last game we have Houston over Tennessee, and I picked that. I had that one pegged. I didn't have it pegged that well. I didn't think they were going to massacre Tennessee, but they did.
Man. And, I keep thinking Chris Johnson is going to break out, but 10 for 18, and now, even if he's not the problem, he shouldn't probably say that he's not the problem because there's only one other place that he could go, and the O-linemen don't really like it when you talk bad about them. But he's just too talented to stay this bad for very long. Unless his heart truly isn't in it anymore, which I think it still is, he still has to bounce back at some point. Although the Texans made a very nice statement that it still is their division to win.
Mm-hmm. All right, now we have our Week 8 picks. And the first important game we're going to talk about is Dallas at Philadelphia.
Yeah, Sunday Night Football. I think the Eagles' corners are too good for the Cowboys' receivers. It's going to be a matchup to watch, but I think they are better than the Cowboys' corners are to the Eagles receivers, so I think the Eagles will win it in shootout fashion.
I think I have no idea what's going to happen in this game because they're both so enigmatic. I have no idea. Tony Romo, depends on what version of him shows up. It depends on what version of Michael Vick shows up.
Does DeMarco Murray rush for 250 more yards?
It's possible with the Eagles defense. All right, and then the next game we have to talk about is San Diego at Kansas City.
Yeah, I don't buy Kansas City this year. I know they've just won 3 in a row, but I think they're a bad football team. And they are still without their 3 best players. As bad as Rivers has been, they're still better than the Chiefs.
Well, yeah, it's not hard, but in Arrowhead, one of the toughest places to play, it's starting to get cold and chilly, and people in Kansas City love that. It's going to be a good game. I think Kansas City is going to win that one. Then we have New England at Pittsburgh. I got Pittsburgh. He's got New England. Why?
I think historically New England matches up well against Pittsburgh. Brady knows how to diffuse their blitz, especially without James Harrison. He gets the ball out so quick that they're not going to have time to get to him. And I think he's going to spread them out kind of the same way Rodgers did in the Super Bowl. And Ben will score some points on a terrible Patriots defense, which we called, by the way. But I think Brady will still pull it out.
That's the safe pick. Definitely is. And they do have more offensive talent than the Pittsburgh Steelers have defensive talent. I know, I said it. And then a final game we're going to talk about for this week is Detroit at Denver. Is the Tebow show going to keep rolling in Denver? Who knows? I think that it will. Just for kicks and grins, I think he'll get 1 win out of this.
Well, if Tebow time is a party, then the cops are coming into town by the name of the Lions D-Line. And Ndamukong Suh is probably the biggest party crasher we have in the league. And he's been beat up the last couple of weeks. Teams have really found a way to neutralize him. And I think he's starting to get a little angry, even angrier than he normally is. So I think he, Fairley, Williams, Averill, Jackson, Young,
call him Willie Young.
the horde of the Silver Crush are going to come after Tebow hard. They're not going to give him any room to work. I think the Lions D may score more points than their offense.
I think this game is going to show us what Tebow is actually made of, because McGahee's not going to be here, so it's going to be on Tebow's shoulders.
Yeah, if the Broncos are going to succeed, I think you have to use the aggressiveness of the Lions D-line against them, run draws, screens, get the linemen moving upfield, and then dunk the ball over their heads.
Yep, that's about the only shot we got. All right, and that's all we have for you on the Picks and Analysis segment. Every week, right here.